Everybody's got travel says February 2nd, Groundhog's Day. Unfortunately, Phil saw his shadow, which means 6 more weeks of winter. Boo, Phil. Boo. I mean, let's be honest, people. It's 6 weeks of winter, anyways. It's just a, 50s, you know, what the hell is it called? A tourist attraction to get to a town that's landlocked in Pennsylvania. That's all it was. And then the movie made it legendary. I've known people who actually gone to there and partied all 3 days because the town's open 24 hours. And believe me, the bar is hard to get into because news media loves liquor. Go bowling, see the sights of Groundhog's Day, go to the cafe, get breakfast, things like that. And then of course, all the TV crews have to set up at night, and then they shut off after 6 o'clock the town square at night, and the next morning everyone has to walk in if you want to see it happen. So, uh, so, if you have a magic key at Disney, you're going to have 50% off Lightning Lane. Wow. Disney, you're scared, aren't you? Scared. Because this was money in the bank. You were saying money in the bank. Now you're like, I'm shaking like a leaf. Of course, Disney World will have free music at Disneyland and Epcot. Here is a list of Flock of Seagulls is funny. Sugar Ray, I've actually had people walking Epcot and heard Sugar Ray and like, that's awful loud. It can't be real. It was real. And Mark still sings. Disney versus Universal After Dark. They're both planning to do After Dark pay events. Here's a list of Disney ones. Sweetheart Night. Already sold out. 90s Nights. It doesn't say anything other than 90s Night. Star Wars Nights. Well, we understand that one. Plus, you can dress up on Star Wars Nights. And, of course, Pride Night. Need not to say anything on that one. Where Universal has Fan Fest, which includes Star Trek, D&D, which is Dungeons and Dragons, Back to the Future in the courtyard system, and the courtyard with 80s cars parked around as well, so you can get pictures in the courtyards. And I was like, wow. And they're both up there in price, but obviously it's hard to say who you want more. I mean, if you live in the area, I mean, I would try both. I mean, that would be really great. Star Wars nights and then Star Trek nights, or at least Back to the Future nights. I mean, of course, other parts of the parks are open and you can go for rides too, but these are the attractions of the night. Plus, there's extra food and cookies and special things. I covered the Universal one the other night, including the Back to the Future, which is a black cookie with two burning stripes on it. Carnival will put a Carnival ship in Australia for 23 as the P&O name goes away. P&O Australia goes away. They're eliminating their division. Of course, they'll just bring a regular Carnival ship. It's mainly for everybody, but the draw attraction was always the Australian market themselves, who would come and cruise on the ship for cheaper. Tips of a cruising veteran. He's from the UK, so let's follow some of his interesting things. He hates tipping, first of all. Complains about how it needs to be eliminated in the American market, especially on the cruises. It's ridiculous. Fly fly in or take a train in early a day ahead and walk the city. And of course, he wrote about just marveling about how he would train or fly in early and just walk the streets and look for restaurants every night he before this cruise and have a wonderful dinner at night. Apparently, he was a food critic too. Apparently, because he just raved about page, food, restaurant, snacks. This is less tips than me talking about food. I mean, I'll still put it up here. And then he would talk about if you really have days off, you can do a couple days of walking around. Now, some of these are okay because, like, obviously, if you fly into Rome, you don't have time to go and see the Colosseum because they just drive you past it and they're like, there's the Colosseum. And you're like, wait, I want to go there. No, we got to drop you off the ship. And that's another, like, I don't even know how far that thing is from the... But, I mean, it's so disappointing a lot of times. But places like NCL will do... If you, as your last day is there, you can do a city tour where you drop off, they'll hold your luggage underneath because it's American tour bus, and walk around these sites and you can see stuff like that. And it's better, but not every cruise line does that. They'll just take the bus and run you past it, and you're like, slow down, I want to take a picture, and like, no, time. So those were the only tips. Oh, get there early, this and that. It's like, are you a travel agent? Are you getting kickbacks from the hotel industry or food industry? I mean, sometimes you wonder about these writers and some of the things I read. Costa Cruise Line, which is a division of our favorite Carnival, has made its debut in South America. It's cruising Brazil, Argentina, and Uruguay. These are quite the sight to see. It doesn't say whether or not it goes around the Cape Horn, which is the southernmost point, or not. A few of them say they do go out to an island, which is technically Antarctica. Hold for Paul. Antarctica as well, and they'll give you the GPS saying that you were technically on the seventh continent or in the GPS range of it. Some go around the Cape because that's a big point. It's the lowest point in the world, is that going around the Cape there and go to the other side to Chile, and they have their own iceberg, and to see Alaska's not the only one. And of course, they used to have other ships that would go around on both sides of South America and stop in Easter Island, which is to the west of the South America continent, and do a day trip out into the Easter Island. There's not much to see anymore. It just talks about the past and the carvings that are littered throughout the island. And it was quite something. Now it's harder to get there. So look into that if you're curious. It's quite something to go to South America. And if you're into meat, Uruguay, there's ones where you can go to a ranch and they cooked several different, lamb, beef, pork, and it's quite a barbecue. It's something to see. I hear vegetarian, then the food comes out, and hardly anything vegetarian was eaten at all, other than that soup. That soup was really good.